So, we've talked a bit about the downsides of technology, but how can we do that better? How can we continue to live our digital lives conveniently while still being present in the physical world? I think the answer is thoughtful, human-focused design, and not just in a physical sense, but thinking about what we as people want to achieve and how we naturally like to do that. Then we can combine the power of both the physical and digital worlds to achieve those goals in a way that's still very human. This sounds simple enough, but technically I think this is more challenging. Where things like the smartphone try to be a kind of single do-it-all solution, I think the answer has a lot of parts. I think those multi-purpose devices like smartphones and tablets are still important, but I think we also need more carefully designed Internet of Things devices, automation, artificial intelligence, and even augmented reality. To put that into context, let's use a light as an example. I know that's a simple example, but it's also relatable, and its simplicity makes it easy to break down and work through before we get to more complex problems. So a typical light switch like this is usually a good experience. It's always ready to use, it's always in the same place, and it's tactile, so you can tell by touch if it's on or off, and you can turn it on or off without looking. For our light, we know that it can also be controlled elsewhere. So we need a physical design on our switch that can convey whether the light is currently on or off. There are switches that do this today. For example, LiftX has a collection of switches that use haptics to provide tactility and lighting to convey whether the light is currently on or off. There are also collections of buttons from brands like Philips and IKEA. For example, this IKEA version that has sections for both off and on, and it returns to a neutral state in between. So it always works whether the light is off or on. The one thing it doesn't tell us is what the current state is. Back to the physical switch. When you flick this on, the light turns on almost instantly. Many smart homes today are built on a cloud platform, which means that when you push a button in your home to turn on a light, the request actually has to go over your Wi-Fi out through the internet to a server somewhere, possibly in another country. That server then sends back a request through the internet over the Wi-Fi to the light to tell it to turn on. That not only adds delay, but it also means you need your internet connection to be able to control your smart home devices. Fortunately, there are some systems out there today that work locally on your home Wi-Fi. So when you push a button to turn on a light, the request is sent directly to the light or via a hub within your home. That way it's much faster and can be almost instantaneous, and it doesn't rely on your internet connection. So we've got close to replicating the great experience of a physical light switch, something that's responsive and tactile, but we can do it through the digital platform, which gives us the chance to do something we couldn't before, like turn a light on or off while we're away from home. The value of that, though, is debatable. And what we really need now is to harness the strength of the digital platform. Computers are amazing at taking data from a huge range of inputs and then applying some sort of logic over it to produce an action. And they can do this hundreds or thousands of times a second, which makes them great for automation. We will always need to be able to turn a light on or off ourselves. But what if 80% or 90% of the time that can be done for us? What if, instead of us having to go into a room or environment and set it up for lighting and heating and all of those things, what if the environment reacted to us as we went about our lives? For a light, we can use a motion sensor that turns the light on when we enter a room and off when we leave. But what if we want the light to fade in or be dimmed? Or stay on for an hour if we leave the room, but turn off immediately if we leave the house? For those situations, we can have multiple sensors in the house that feed into a more complex automation and learning system that also knows about things like time of day, sunrise and sunset, the weather, and it can learn our occupancy and usage habits so that over time it can make better decisions about how to control our light. And so by taking the best aspects of the physical world and enhancing them with the power of the digital world, we create a nice human user experience that's also more convenient and gives us something of value that we didn't have before. See you next time.